Okay, so I'm not really sure how I'm gonna do this. I think I want to make it into like a series, but at the moment it's just this one. I kind of want to do a thing where there's recorded gameplay in the background, and then I'm just talking about things in my life. Kind of like a diary of sorts. Kind of like a podcast in a way, but just by myself. Because it's not only going to be things that are like going on currently in my life. Maybe things from the past, maybe things I've thought. Like controversial things that I think of, which I don't have many of those. I don't have, opinions of my own or anything like that. But I don't know, big things that I'm excited for. If I ever get like really excited for a video game or a movie coming out, I might be able to just come on and talk about that for 5 or 10 minutes. I'm not sure how long they all are going to be. They'll probably be varying. This one, I didn't really make a plan for what I was going to talk about. So right now I am on winter break, I guess. They didn't really call it that. It's kind of just like a break between semesters. Because in college, you don't really call it like winter break or Christmas break. I think people stopped calling it Christmas break because not everybody celebrates Christmas. But yeah, we're off for an actual full month. I believe I left actually on December 12th, and I go back January 13th. So we're gone for a month. So before I left for college, I like literally the day before I left for college, I was still working at Culver's, which, if any of you don't know, it's fast food. I basically was manning the register at the time. And one of the managers said that if I ever come home for break, I could work there. Obviously during the break. So I'm on break now, and before I came on break, I messaged him and I was like, hey, do you still work there and everything? And he said no, which kind of worried me because I really, really wanted to work this break, just to get up some money before I come back. But yeah, he said no. He said he had moved to like a different Culver's, but even still he was doing that kind of like a side job. He landed a really new gig with this new job, and I was very happy for him. But I also was like, oh my god, I might not be able to work there. And obviously if I applied anywhere else, it's not going to take me because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm applying, but I can only work there for a month, and no one's really going to take that. You're going to want a more permanent person to fill the role of whatever job I would be applying for. So I had the number of the other manager that I knew there, and I texted her, and she said, yeah, come aboard, we're happy to have you. I was so relieved because I don't necessarily need the money, but when I first went into college for my first semester, I had a bit of extra cash, and like whenever I wanted to go or grab some snacks or whenever I was not actually working, I wouldn't have to worry about, oh, I need my phone bill paid this month. I wouldn't have to worry about any of that because I have that extra money set aside. So yeah, I was super relieved when she said I could come and work. December 12th was the day I came home. That day I kind of just came home and crashed. I had done so much that day when it comes to like moving. So I came home, I crashed that day. Next day I texted her, I'm like, okay, so what do we really have to do? I had to fill out the paperwork that I already filled out like way before, because I don't think any of them were really expecting me to take them up on that offer. But I mean, it's a really good offer, so why not? So I went to the store, I filled out the paperwork. By the way, I want to point out, the fact that I'm 18 made that so much easier to do, because I first started working there when I was 17. So I went there, I got a work permit from them, and then I went to my school to have them sign it, but then they were like, this is out of date, here's an up-to-date work permit. So I went back to the store, I had to have them fill it out, went back to the school, had them fill it out, went back to the store, and had them fill it. It was a big thing, and obviously I don't have a car, so I was riding the public bus back and forth. And so, yeah, now that I was 18, I just brought my ID, I brought my social security card, and I did it all in the span of like 20 minutes maybe. So I did that, it was really quick, and the manager there, she said this week they had already made the schedule. So I would be on the schedule for next week, and I could work like 3 straight weeks there. But if anybody like calls in or they need any positions filled this week, then they'll just call me in. They can't officially put me on the schedule like, you'll be working this day, this day, and this day. But they were like, hey, you want to be on call? And like I said, if anybody calls in or anything, then we'll like bring you in. And I was like, yeah, that's perfect, because I was kind of bummed out that I wasn't going to be able to work this week, because obviously that means less money. But the fact that there's a chance that I can work this week, that's amazing. I'm kind of excited to go back, because I know some of the people that work there. Before, obviously, when I worked there before, I knew everybody that was there. But some people have quit, more people have come aboard. So I know some people that are there, but there are also new people, and I'm excited to meet the new people. I'm excited to go back to the old people, see what's going on in their lives, tell them what's been going on in my life with college and everything. So that's what I'm doing most of winter break. I'll probably just be working. I don't really have any plans to like go on social events. Like obviously I'm gonna spend Christmas with my family. That's obviously gonna be a thing, but I don't plan on going out with friends or anything like that because I just want to work. Because when I go back to college, it'll be college, and my friend, my best friend in the world, is coming to the same college that I go to this spring semester. So that'll be like super fun. That's like the light at the end of the tunnel, kind of. I don't really need a light at the end of the tunnel because it's not like working at the Culver that I'm going to is like so terrible. And because you always hear these stories about people working in fast food and they're like, oh my god, it's completely terrible, worst experience I've ever had. But working there, it's not that bad. It's actually really fun, in my opinion. I've had very, very, very little bad times there. And when I did, it wasn't because of things that happened there. It was because of things that happened prior to work, and then I went into work obviously in a bad mood, which isn't a good thing to do, but you know, I'm only human. So that's the really bright light at the end of the tunnel. I'll have a friend there. And I'm not saying I don't have any friends in college. I don't have that many because I'm actually really, really bad at like introducing myself. I actually don't know why. It's hard for me to introduce myself realistically. Like, I don't know what to say. Do I actually go up to somebody and say, hello, my name's Anthony, and like shake their hand? Or do I slide in with something like smooth, like, hey, cutie, how's your day? It's very hard for me to introduce myself to people. So most of the time I kind of just wait for people to walk up to me. So what I do is, and I know this is a terrible thing to do to make friends. It's not the worst thing I can do. It's not a good tactic to make friends, but it's my tactic to make friends, so don't hate on it. What I do is I try to make myself look as approachable as possible. Since I can't actually go and approach people, or at least it's very difficult for me to, I try to make myself look as approachable as possible. So like right now, I'm wearing like this really warm looking sweater. I'm wearing like just normal black jeans, and I try to like smile as much as possible. So I'll like listen to happy music and just be bopping out. Sometimes I'll like hum along or sing along to the music I'm listening to, and I'll try to look happy. And I'll try to be happy so that more people will approach me. So instead of actually approaching people, because I really don't know how, I'll try to up my odds of people approaching me. That's how I make friends rather than actually going out and making friends. I'll have an actual like solidified 100% this is my friend at college, which I feel, especially being around this specific person, he makes me more confident and more outgoing. He like kind of transforms me into an extrovert, oddly enough. So like when I'm with him, I'm able to talk to people more. I'm able to make more witty comments rather than being shy or timid or anything like that. It's very easy to riff off him, which makes it easier for me to riff off other people like strangers. So I feel like even if he doesn't specifically make friends that I can make friends off of, I feel like just having him up there would make it easier for me to approach people and make more friends, which would be really nice. I'm not saying I'm like depressed and like really need some friends to like help me out of whatever, but obviously making new friends is never a bad thing. Like you can never have too many friends, you know? There are times when having so many friends to try to please each and every one of them all the time can feel overwhelming, but as long as you're good at like what's the word I'm looking for? As long as you're good at I'm blanking right now, sorry. I'm going to try to go on. I'm going to try as hard as I can to go on. As long as you can make it so you're not overwhelming yourself with trying to please every single person at every single point in time. Especially if you have a lot of friends, trying to please like maybe this friend this day, this friend a few days after that or whatever, doing this with this friend, maybe getting a big group together and doing this with all of them. That's good. But don't try to please every single one of them all the time, because that'll take away from you enjoying yourself. Not only that, it'll take away from you enjoying them, and it'll take away from what they enjoy about you. It'll be a lose, lose, lose. So realistically, you should try and pace yourself when it comes to that type of thing. But even still, the more friends you have, especially the more close friends you have, the less chance you'll have to deal with something alone. And I have dealt with plenty in my life. I've been through very, very down times in my life. And there have been times I have had to deal with it alone. Even times not necessarily where I had to deal with it alone, but I didn't feel like this friend or this other friend had the knowledge or had the tools to help me, or even these friends were also going through a hard time, so I didn't want to bother them with my stuff. The more friends you have, the more close friends you have especially, the less likely that is to happen. I really, really, really feed off of other people's joy, which is an odd thing to say, and it kind of makes me sound like I get a kick out of making people happy. Haha, I'm so generous. Nothing like that. But when I hear somebody laughing or I see somebody smile, especially when it's because of something I did, it makes me feel so nice. And I feel like I could be doing that for more people, but my social awkwardness and my inability to approach people makes that harder, and it makes it a lot more scarce than I would like it to be. I'll be in the cafeteria, say, and I'll see somebody across the room, and they don't look necessarily happy, or they look down on their luck or anything like that, and I'm like, ooh, I could go over there and tell them this. I could introduce myself and say this witty thing, or I could do this to make them smile. But then I'm like, yeah, but what if they don't like me? Or what if they don't smile? What if it makes them even more sad? What if they're not actually sad? What if this? What if that? And then I don't end up doing it. So I feel like once I have my friend over there, once I have that push to get me going and motivate me more to actually go and push all those bad thoughts away, I feel like it would make it a much better experience for me. And I feel like I could make it a better experience for other people. Which is another thing to say, but I truly, truly believe that. And I really, really hope that happens. But I have to get through this winter break first. And I feel like the fastest way to do that is to just work. Working would make it go faster. It would give me more money to just have on the side when I'm up in college. Obviously, it'll help the store because I'll be working there. So honestly, that's just a win-win-win right there. So yeah, that's what I will be doing this winter break. Other than, celebrating Christmas with my family, something I'm actually really excited for. I collected like 3 or 4 Christmas vinyls, and I brought my vinyl player down from my college, and I'm really excited to play my Christmas vinyls on Christmas Day. Not only on Christmas Day, but my family's also getting a really big group together and celebrating it a week or something before Christmas. And I'm really excited to play it then as well, show it off to everybody and everything. Not only that, but I also brought this really good camera that I bought 2 months ago. I've really had a time to use it. It's a really, really nice camera, and I really, really want to take some good pictures with them, but I haven't really had a chance to until now. So I'm really excited for that as well. I feel like this Christmas is going to be really good. The last few Christmas haven't been really that great. They haven't been terrible per se. They could definitely have been worse, but they haven't really been that great. When I was younger, we had amazing Christmas. But when I was really young, we got the entire family together. But slowly our family started to split apart. Some people moved away. Some people got in arguments and kind of separated off from each other. Some people got married and went to that part of the family and stuff like that. So different things got in the way, and so it became a very tight-knit group of people who would do Christmas together. And then we started getting in hard times financially. I know it kind of sounds materialistic for me to say, but we started getting less and less presents. And now remember what I said before. I feel really good when I see somebody else having a really good time, And obviously being so young, at the time I was like 11 or 12, and my siblings were around the same age. That was joy to us, getting presents. And back then we were materialistic. We very much were. Children are very materialistic, so getting those presents was a big deal for us. And then it slowly started going away, so it slowly started to feel like Christmas was less and less. And not only that, because of the fact that we started becoming more and more financially needy, I guess, it brought down the vibe in the household, like, already. So year round, money was very tight, let's say. So that was already a big, like, pressure on us. And then come Christmas time, it's a tradition that you buy presents. So even then, money was even more tight, because we still needed, like, to buy food, we still needed to pay bills, stuff like that. But then you added on this other money sucker that was the presents. So that was another burden. And then the fact that we couldn't afford that many presents, that was even another burden. And so the more time went on, the more it felt like Christmas was more and more dull. I also was thinking maybe it's just because I'm getting older and the magic is leaving. But this Christmas, I feel like, has the potential to be a really, really good Christmas. We're more financially stable than we were. But it's not like we'll have like a bunch of presents, but we're much more grown up than we were. So we're not as materialistic as we were. And in the last year, our family has come back together. Not necessarily what it was, but the closest thing that I think that we'll get to. And so I think this Christmas has the potential to be a very, very good one. Much better than it has been, even on par with what it used to be. So I'm really excited for that. And then 2 weeks after Christmas, I'll be going back to college with my best friend, and that'll be really fun. So there are good times ahead for this new year, for 2020. I'm looking forward to 2020, to changing things up. Obviously, I started college in 2019, but 2020 is going to be the year of just college. I'm going to do summer college, and I feel like it'll be a really, really good year. I'm going to try to make it the best year I can. I'm going to go out of my way to make it as good a year as I can. And hopefully I'll keep doing this, so whoever is listening will be with me on my journey through 2020 and hopefully through the years to come. I think I'm going to call it for this one, actually. I really hope this whole thing really pans out. Now that I've done this one, I'm really looking forward to doing more. Maybe I'll get like a better mic or something for it. I hope you enjoyed whatever this turns out to be. I hope you come back for more, and I hope I keep making more. I at least plan on making more content in the future. So if you like this, subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, leave a comment for what you think I could do better. Leave a comment for what you think should stay the same. Realistically, the whole overlay of the channel is a work in progress. So if you think something should change, if you think something should stay the same, leave a comment. Let me know. I'm always open to suggestion. Thank you for listening to whatever this was. All right, and I'll talk to you later.